Okay, Beth.
Got it. All right, ready? Okay, so this is nice. This is a nice size group. Perfect. So I'm Beth, and I am one of the teachers from the Society of Souls. I've been studying this for about 17 years now, which is a very long time. And I'm very excited and happy to be here. I do have to warn you that I have a pandemic puppy. So if that's why I have to let her out randomly. And hopefully you won't hear like a lot of chewing noises in the background. You know, she's chewing her plastic bones. So Tadeja.
Thank you, Beth. My name is Tadeja. I'm also a teacher at the A Society of Souls, with a little less mileage in time as Beth, only 12 years. I have enjoyed all these years of being deeply connected with the material that Jason created, with him personally, with all my friends in all kind of trainings and webinars and meetings. And I'm actually thrilled that we have joined with Beth in this co-teaching team in expectations of gathering the group by September this year, where we will start after almost 10 years, another training in non-dual Kabbalistic healing in Europe. So, yeah, Beth.
So, all right, I'll just tell you how this works today. We will, well, today and I will be lecturing, which we have to find a better word for that. Instructing, telling you about different things, how Kabbalah works, what this is all about. And we'll have some time for sharing, and we'll do some meditations. We're on a kind of a tight schedule, but you know, if you have questions, please feel free. And if you'd like to, actually, we can maybe go around and just, you know, introduce ourselves to each other. Oh, and another thing, this it's really good to try and be as present as you can. So I will often suggest, you know, maybe, you know, turn your phone to mute, because I know, you know, I'm constantly distracted by it. So let's just all try and really be here where we are. And who would like, you know, really just tell us your name and a little bit why you're here. Should I pick someone to start? Charles, okay, you're first.
Hello, everybody. I'm Charles, and I live in the south of the UK, in south of London. And I'm here because I'm curious, and also because I know Tadeja. I met Tadeja several years ago, and I hold her in high regard. So that kind of part of how I came to join this little group. Thank you.
Welcome. Anyone?
All right, I'm Gordana. Hello, everybody. I'm here because I'm interested in knowing more about Kabbalistic healing, and especially about school that you are setting up. I also know Tadeja, and that was my connection to it. I participated in 2 meetings before, and I liked it. So I hope today we'll have a good time as well.
Thank you. I'm glad you're here.
Hi.
Branislava, unmute yourself.
Okay, I thought I did. Maybe I clicked twice. I'm Branka, so don't look what's written underneath my image on the screen. It's too complicated to pronounce. And I'm here for the first time. I wasn't able to join the previous seminars. I have known Tadeja for quite a while, and she is actually the main reason, I must admit, that I am here today, and hopefully will be joining the next few seminars and the school. And I'm happy to meet you all.
We're glad you're here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Jana. I
Hi.
come from Slovenia, from Novo Mesto, and I'm here also because Tadeja. And I was going to school. Yeah, I was studying with her for 2 years at the school that also included the knowledge from Nondual Kabbalistic healing, and I really liked it. So I'm here also just to see what it is, what you will be presenting together. Thank you.
Great.
Anyone else? We want to take a couple of more.
I mean, you don't have to, but you know.
Yeah, hi, I am Jolanta. I'm basically also curious about what you will present to us, and I know Tadeja as well. I was on some therapy sessions with her, and I really liked the approach of being compassionate with yourself and with your imperfections, let's say it like that. So let's see.
Glad you're here.
Thank you.
You have a following today.
Yes. Hey.
Okay. Anyone else? You don't have to, but I just want to leave space for people who do. Okay. So welcome again. So we've heard a lot of reasons that people are here, you know, curiosity, just intrigued by something different, maybe spiritual seeker. But I would say that whatever your motivation for coming, fundamentally, it is because you've reached that stage of life where you're familiar with suffering and you're tired of it and looking for some sort of way to relieve it. So the question really is, how can a non-dual healing approach or the understanding of the Kabbalistic view of reality help us? So non-dual Kabbalistic healing was created by Jinin Jason Schulman as a path of healing and awakening. As both a Buddhist Dharma lineage holder and a modern Kabbalist, Jason has integrated a lot of things into this path. All right, he's combined the wisdom of Kabbalah, Buddhist thought, theories of quantum physics, 20th century psychological insight, and the teaching of non-duality into a deeply transformative and healing process. He unites the work on the personal self, including all its suffering and beauty, with learning how to reside in the spaciousness of the absolute. All of the work that we're going to be exploring together for these next few weeks is about reality, or life exactly as it is. It's about suffering and how to work with it, and it's about true joy and happiness. So before getting into all of the details, I just want to give you a few hints on how to approach this. Okay, so if you've come with a lot of questions, please relax. Understanding Kabbalah and non-duality is very much like trying to grab hold of water. Okay, you try and grab it, and what do you get? Not very much. Kabbalah is not about grasping. It is our ego that wants to grasp, and know everything and try and hold the whole world in its tiny little hands. The best way to work with studying Kabbalah is to open your mind and your heart and just let the information flow over you. Instead of grasping at water, what you want to do is just open your hands and let the water come to you, all right? And experience the sight, the taste of it, the smell, the feel. And when you do that, you'll know much more about water than you would if you just grabbed it. So all that to say, when some ideas aren't immediately clear to you, just relax, just let it pass, because the ideas will come back. You know, we kind of go around and things will come back in a different form and you'll understand them then. Or if you don't just understand it the second time, you will the next time. So just don't approach, it's not a college class. We don't give tests. You don't have to pass or anything. Relaxing and just having an open heart is the best way to do this. So pauses are really important. And Tadeja and I will provide plenty of them because we need to pause and able to really fully consider what it is that we're working with. And moments of stillness are often really the most productive ones. They transform our limited concepts of ourselves and brings us a new level of understanding that we can really only reach by wholehearted waiting instead of constantly pushing forward. Okay, we also encourage you to question everything. Nothing is out of bounds, nothing is off limits, but you let the words of the class kind of challenge you, and then you challenge it. And by doing that, you're really having a dialogue with reality, which is what we're trying to do. So, some definitions. Kabbalah literally means to receive. It is a Jewish mysticism and an ancient set of beliefs and points of view. It calls us to participate in the world in a new way, to awakening, to engaging, and awakening to that engagement. The Kabbalah is a wonderful tool for looking at how we make the world over in our own image. Non-duality is what the world already is. And there's a lot of long and involved definitions of non-duality, but that is basically it. The world as it already is. It is the name we give to the actual state of the world and everything in it, from the point of view of things remaining distinct without being separate. Because humans have a special type of consciousness, we're able to reflect upon ourselves. And often we feel separate. The separateness does some wonderful and some really amazing things, but it also causes us to suffer from separation from our own lives as we're living them. We think that we are living in life, or that life does things to us. We feel separate from others and from the world around us. And this is actually the root of all our suffering and all of the neurosis that has been handed down to us from our lineage. But this separateness also allows for some beautiful things, such as individuality and the ability to have a relationship, and beauty. So it's very natural for people to highlight the separateness, and the non-dual perspective of reality does not deny this. Okay? It doesn't deny that we are separate beings from one perspective. So we don't want to skip the step of being a person, being an individual, in favor of some mistaken notion of non-duality or transcendence that creates a profound imbalance in our nature. In other words, trying to, get rid of aspects of ourselves or, merge into the absolute, those sorts of things are not the way that we work with it. You lose the preciousness of yourself when you try to get rid of parts of you or try to just merge into the consciousness of the all. It's completely possible, though, that it is simultaneously true that we are not separate at all, that we take what we take for our most separate self, that which we call the I, our I, is actually held in common by all of manifest creation. So a non-dual approach to the Kabbalah takes into account both aspects of reality. Is this making any kind of sense? Yes. Okay, good. Okay, thank you. It's so hard not to, so, okay, good. So a path of non-dual Kabbalistic healing actually changes the spiritual seeker from a separate only being to a being who is both separate and not separate at the same time. It's an alchemical process. Transforming the seeker is what brings us unity with the true healing principles of life. And the aim of all of this work is freedom. Freedom from preconceived notions or self-limiting constraints or ideas and the concept of others. When we are free, we're free to be exactly ourselves. When we're not free, we have access only to our historically constrained parts of the self. We're caught in stories. Oh, we are caught in the stories. Oh, dear. Sorry. There we go. We're caught in the stories that we tell ourselves in an attempt to persuade ourselves that this is who we are and this is how the world works. We can learn to be completely present with all of our positive and negative history, but not be constrained by the past, the future, the present, by accident, happenstance, or personal psychology. Obviously, this is an ongoing process. So if you think that you can study this and in a couple of years, that's it, you'll have reached the end, I'm very sorry to tell you that's not how it is, which I know from personal experience. But it's a process. When we can get everything working together, our body, emotions, mind, and spirit, we will be in a totally different place than the one that we occupy right now. So we are learning as we go through this to unify our being by becoming actually aware of our constraints and prejudices and limitations, both conscious and unconscious. If we're not aware of these things, there's really no way to work with them. And we're just kind of doomed to repeat, on one of those like endless cycles. And these things limit our view of the wholeness of life. So once we can do this, we can approach suffering in a new way. And doing this with a big heart and a lot of courage allows us to become intimate with all things. Questions, comments? Does it make sense? Is this like, okay, you've all heard all of this and I'm just talking like whatever, or something? Anyone? Okay.
It does resonate, and it was really beautifully spoken, but it's also such a, you know, like you say, it's really hard to talk about this. So on some level it resonates, but it's only like an aspect of it, because it's hard to grasp the wholeness of it all. But it's definitely, for me, it resonates. So for me, it makes sense, yes.
Okay. Well, and that's what we're looking for, some sort of resonance. Because it's a lot of words, and it's complex. And I know when I started learning this, I would kind of sit there and think, oh my gosh, like there must be something wrong with me, or I'm not as smart as I thought, because it just felt all up here. That's okay. All right. As long as you feel some little resonance, something seems like it makes a little bit of sense, we're good. So.
Yeah, I'm kind of just sitting there letting it wash over me, because it seems far too big. I'm sure the kernel is incredibly simple, but when we look for simple, we complicate things. So yeah, I'm just sort of letting it wash over me and seeing where it goes.
Exactly what you need to do. Exactly.
And Beth, if I may jump in, just to remind everyone that what Beth shared with us in this less than 20 minutes right now is something that we are discovering and debating and questioning and answering for 4 years during the training. And still after 4 years, you find yourself in the place with more questions than answers, which is actually good, but that's the way it is.
I guess that partly answers an unspoken question I had today. What happens in 4 years after completing the program?
What happens? Well, what definitely happens in 4 years is you deepen your relationship to the totality of who you are. You open your heart, you open the space where everything, or a large part of what you had to push away or deny or hide from because of your of the dangers of your upbringing and growing up, of all the problematic and painful things that happened to you. You open this space to start having the relationship with these parts of yourself. And that completely changes, first, the notion of who you are. Because a lot of times we go through life with the idea, oh, that's who I am. And I mean, raise your hands, those who have found yourself in a statement, well, that's just who I am. When something goes wrong, or you find yourself in trouble or some anxiety, or, you know, you've hurt someone, you didn't want to, but you did. And then you go like, oh, that's how I am. You know, I always jump first. I always, you know, hide first. The relationship to who I am definitely changes in 4 years.
So if I may, I'm not getting too stuck on the etymology of the word, but will my diseased body start to cure itself, to heal itself?
Can you repeat that? It was
yeah. Will my diseased body heal itself, cure itself, so I have a better physical body?
Probably not.
Okay.
But what will change will be your compassionate heart towards your body.
Okay.
And that will eventually change how your body feels, how you perceive your body, even when aching and not functioning the way you were used to function or you wanted it to function. But it won't, I mean, if you have a heart disease, it won't cure your heart disease.
Okay.
It will help you live with it.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Beth.
So let's do a
Can
little.
I just say
Oh,
something?
yes.
Because I just feel we should never say it's not possible. Like, I think there is always hope for healing, you know. So
Yes, I agree, Yolanta. I completely agree. And thank you for reminding me. And in fact, I didn't mean that. I mean, that's my Gevuric part, and you will learn about Gevura when you join the training. But, you know, I just wanted to be very clear with having unrealistic expectations, which is different from having hope.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my linear mind kind of takes over at times. And one of my major learning benefits would be to be able to drop out of it and use it less. Mm-hmm. It's very powerful, but sometimes it gets too powerful and gets in the way sometimes.
Yes. Yeah. And if I may just add one thing, Beth, before I'm giving, you know, the vehicle back to you. In my own experience, what actually happened during those years is that at a certain point, I started to feel more pain than before. I became more sensitive to physical pain than I was before. I mean, it is part of my personal wounding that I don't want to explain here. Maybe if there's time during our 4 years in the training, I will talk more about it. And at the beginning, I was really unhappy because of it. Because I was like a girl who really could stand the pain. Like, you know, you can punch me, you can, you know, point needles to me, you can hit me, I'm the rock. But that wasn't really me, you know. When I came to the point that I could feel not the hard force pain, but even the very small, very subtle pain, I started to discover what life is. I was able to be more fully present with everything that is. I learned how to live with it. So, Pat?
Okay. Let's do some meditation. Kind of find out a little bit more about what this is like. So I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. And now take a few moments to observe how your body feels. Focus on your physical sensations. Maybe your back is sore because you've been sitting too much, or your eyes are kind of twingy because of too much Zoom. Any sort of physical thing. Now, think of something that is a difficulty or something that's uncomfortable in your life right now. And please do not go all the way to the worst thing happening. Let's work with a manageable difficulty or discomfort. So imagine it for a few minutes. and let it become very alive in you. The details of the issue, your feelings about it. Now, tune into your body for a moment and notice how it has changed since you began remembering this difficult situation. Perhaps your pulse changed or your breathing. Or maybe you're experiencing some tightness somewhere in your body. Now, pick one of those changes, one of those physical changes, such as tightness, and just allow it to be there. Drop all of your emotional and remembered associations with it. Simply allow it to be there as pure sensation. And notice what happens. And when you're ready, you can come back. Okay. How was that? What sort of things came up? How was it to feel something as a pure sensation without emotions or thoughts attached to it?
For me, it was very pleasant because I had like a whole head squeezing effect, like a very strong tightness. But as you said, let go of the emotions. It was, oh, this is not so bad, sort of, because and sort of like tingling, like raindrops started going through my body, like some slight release, and just sitting. So it kind of became pleasant because I also like hard massages, where pain gets relieved. So it was kind of, oh, it's painful, but it's finally relaxing. So it was interesting.
Okay. Yes.
First, when you said that we pick a topic or whatever is the most important thing bothering us at the moment, I picked something which is a topic for me for quite a while. And then I realized that nothing is happening, no sensation. And suddenly it came to my awareness that this problem is mainly in my mind or from my mind. And then I let it go. And I said, okay, let's see what's coming next. And then actually another thing, which of course I'm thinking from time to time about that, and I would like to change it, or I don't feel comfortable with it, that came with such an intensity, and it was so live, in an unpleasant way, but it came, and I instantly knew that this is actually the most important or major topic, if we can say so.
Mhm.
And with that subject, I went through the process, and I could also localize it in my body, where it sits, where it lies. And when we came to the point of letting go, or in the sense embracing it, I felt, so I wasn't consciously doing it, but the tension just went away, and I felt the liveliness in that part of my body. So I liked the meditation.
Oh.
Full stop.
Well, that's always nice to hear.
Yeah.
Sometimes people don't, but it's a very interesting.
It made me realize with my body, and not with my mind, or through my mind.
Yep.
Yes. Good.
Thank you.
Tadeja?
Thank you, Beth. If nobody else has a question or wants to share about what we did in the first half of our meeting today, I would like to go deeper into the material. Well, non-dual Kabbalistic healing is the work of the relationships. And one of the basic ones is our relationship to reality. We work with our unhealed ego. It sees only limited portion of reality. And in the healing process of non-dual Kabbalistic healing, we are healing the ego. The reality is formed with at least two elements that we will consider. The first one is that things are what they are. Their form is defined by their existence. In other words, rock is just a rock, and tree is just a tree. And the drop of water is just a drop of water. The second element is that we are constantly participating and partaking in co-creating process of reality. The way we see and understand life and parts of life is actively involving us, our awareness, and state of consciousness. And to understand more of this, we will investigate Kabbalistic universes. So what are these universes? When old Kabbalists were contemplating on challenges of life and on life itself, they came to the understanding that we perceive ourselves and the world on different levels. And this is how they created the model of 4 Kabbalistic universes, or worlds, as we also call them. And you will hear me using both terms, universe and world. Each universe is a way of understanding how we perceive reality from the point of view of our separate self. And this separate self we will call the ego. These universes are also descriptions of how the ego remains separate. And luckily, at the same time, the perspectives that these universes offer are the possibility of how we can heal this sense of separation and be our natural self. And this is the non-dual nature of the work. It includes both. This journey, as I have already shared a little today, changes our view and understanding of the world, changes the way we see ourselves and others. And this process of this change is actually this returning to the natural self, and this is the healing process by itself. Here I just received one message on the chat. Just let me look at it. Maybe it's important. Yeah, somebody's saying goodbye because they cannot stay with us and they will watch the video. Okay. Thank you for being with us. Razzle dazzle, I don't know who this is. Yeah. So, where have I been? Oh yes, this journey. Our ego, our wounded ego, in its unhealed state, is full of fears. And these fears are obstacles in our path of healing. Where on the other hand, our healing ego is the part of us that not only helps us live, but constantly moves us onward on our healing and growth. And this healing ego is the one who brought you here today. We all have it. It never left us, even if we are not aware of it. You have maybe met some other spiritual practice, because many spiritual practices still teach that the goal is to overcome, override, transcend, getting rid of the ego. In non-dual Kabbalistic healing, we don't do that. We want the ego to become the part of our whole self. Because like Beth said, the non-duality is what the world already is. And our ego, in his unhealed or healing form, is already here and is part of ourselves. It's just that in our limited view from our wounded place, we cannot really understand and see that. So from the perspective of healing the ego, the universe is described the journey from the unhealed state to the healing state, or as we often say, from the small view to the big view. Step by step, we are opening the tight space of our narrative to the greater view and spaciousness. In practice, it's very much like looking through binoculars or looking without binoculars. It's true, when you have your binoculars, you can see even very far objects very clearly, but you see just them. And it's actually very interesting and important view to have in your toolbox. But if this is the only view that you have, you are very limited. If you're afraid to take your binoculars off because of what happened in your childhood, you are limited. And what we do in non-dual Kabbalistic healing, we are opening the space that is safe enough for you to try take the binoculars away and see the world in different perspective. These universes give us new insight and perspectives on every aspect of our being, from our physical form to our psychology. They are a way to talk about what happens to us as we heal and integrate the split and broken parts of ourselves. Also, they are a map of different levels of reality and the perspective of increasingly integrated levels of wholeness. And we want to awaken to these levels of reality. How are you? There's been a lot of new information, maybe. Do you feel it soothes you? Do you feel like, oh my God, what is she talking about? Whatever you're feeling is welcome. If you want to share, anybody wants to share before I continue? Charles, please.
I feel tired.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder why that is. I mean, we're not going to go into discussion about it, but it's important to notice that. You know, oh, I'm tired. I wonder what that is. And then we stay here. You know, can I not continue? Can I not go into analyzing and, you know, trying to find a place where I'm not tired? This is what non-dual view does to us. This is what spaciousness that comes with non-dual perspective of life does to us. Lucy agrees. Who was that, Lucy Beth? Yeah. Yeah. So let's look into the first universe. The first universe, or the first world, that we will look at is called Asiya, or the world of making and action. And we have another chat here. Gordana says, it speaks to my heart. Beautiful. Yeah. I will try to share my whiteboard screen because I would like to draw you a diagram. Okay, let's take this one that's a bit thicker. So just, do you all see this diagram? Raise your thumbs, hands, yeah. Okay, so let us just look at this diagram and just open your mics and tell me what you see. How do you feel when you look at it? What does it say to you? A couple of words. Yes.
Rotating.
Okay, first Charles and then the next one.
I said rotating. Sorry, Gordana.
Rotating. Okay.
Yeah.
It hits the point which is all around.
Hits the point that is all around.
Yeah.
It shows the direction.
Shows the direction.
Of a movement.
Of a movement, yes.
Closed circle.
Circle, yeah.
Ouroboros, the snake that is eating its own tail.
Like snake eating its own tail.
For me, everything is already here. So you are at the starting point at the same time where the ending point is. So it's here.
Everything's already here. Yeah. I'll take one or two more before I continue. Or not.
It is complete.
It's complete. Yeah.
And closed off also.
Closed off. Perfect. Okay, let me stop sharing. These were all beautiful observations. Let me just name a couple of more. See only itself. It comes around, you said. It sees only itself. Yeah. It's constricted and closed. It clearly separates inside and outside. Has a direction. Even more, has only one direction. How did you feel with that diagram? Comfortable? Raise hands who felt comfortable. Yeah. Did anybody felt discomfortable?
Me.
And both is okay. Did anybody feel both? Comfortable and discomfortable?
Well,
Yeah.
maybe.
Maybe. Let me talk a bit more about the qualities of this universe, and you'll get more of it. As I said, this is the world of action and making. This means that all the action happens here. For example, if you need to hit the brake at the red light at the crossroads, this is the reality where you do it. There is no question asked. It's just, you want to stop the car, you hit the brake. That's the action. This is the world of physical matter. This is the world where we can actually touch, feel, see, hear things. I can grab this cup, and because it has dense physical, it's very dense, my hand doesn't go through. It stops. This is also the world of navigation on the physical level. Paths are very clear. The directions are very clear. Like we understand what's left and right. We understand what's forward and backward. Things are very simple. And if you maybe already sense what I'm going to say next, it's that this is the place of most separation. Because the boundaries between things in this world are very clear, very sharp, and things are very separate. Like I said before, this cup is very separate from me. I can hold it because of that. I said this is the world of being most dense already. Yeah, which also means there's very, very little room for variations and variants and maybes. There's just black and white. There's no maybe black or maybe white. There's no maybe day or maybe night. Things are what they are. It's the realm of most ordinary consciousness. What you see is what you get. There's no reflection, no inner self, no doubts. There's no room for paradox, questions, no space for ambiguity. Like I said before, if you drive and suddenly something happens on the street and you have to stop the car, there's no questioning like, should I stop the car or not? Should I hit the brake or not? Maybe yes, maybe no. It's just, no, you want to stop, hit the brake. It's very clear, very simple. This is also the world where most the solutions are. That's how this world functions. We have a problem, we have a solution. You know, I'm back to the car. I don't know why this car is so present with me today. Maybe because I was angry with my car today. Anyway, if you have the problem with your car's safety, you take it into the repair shop. It's very simple. You don't contemplate about it for, I don't know, half a year. Now, if you have a headache, you take an aspirin. If you cut yourself, you press the wound so it stops. There's a lot of common and useful elements in this world, and you are more or less familiar with them. And also because things are the most separate, we can observe them. This is the realm where object-subject understanding of world lives. We are the subject, there is the object, and we can observe it. We can, tell things about it. We can admire it. We can see each other beauties because of this. And it also defines us in a certain way. I'm a woman, you're a man. I'm tall, you're short. How are you doing?
Terrible.
Terrible.
Yeah, I don't know.
Why?
Something about this makes me really feel bad. Like, I don't know. It's I feel there is no freedom for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, if it has to be like that and only like that, then this is like a world where I don't want to be. It's like, I don't know. And I don't think that there are many things that are not so easy to explain or just to do. Like you said, you have a headache and then you just take an aspirin. For me, this is not like that. I don't think like this because I have other things that make me not take the aspirin.
Yes.
So this is why it makes me feel like really like I'm in a cage or something like that. I don't know.
Yes. Which, Jolanta, is perfect observation. There is very little freedom in this perspective. But on the other hand, we need this level of reality.
Yeah.
And which brings me already to another, how should I say it, more open view to this world, which talks about all the worlds, all the Kabbalistic universes are connected. They're integrated one into another. They're transparent one to another. And when we find ourselves in the perspective of our unhealed ego, we can end up in what we call Asiya only. And what you described is very much about Asiya only, which means if we find ourselves in the belief that this is the only way how the world works, the reaction you had is exactly what happens. There's not a lot of freedom. I don't want to live here. I mean, you have experienced wider open space and you understand how restricted this can be. And the characteristics of Asiya only are like fundamentalism. You're white, I'm black. You're European, I'm Indian. You're, I hate to say it, but it's very in the moment. You're vaccinated, I'm not. You're anti, you're pro. And it's because a lot of people got stuck in this point of view. There's a lot more pain in the world, actually. The wars start from Asiya only view. That's why it's so important to start healing that, because Asiya from healing perspective is what I already said. It's the beauty of the material world. It's the perspective that helps you go into the nature and look through the branches of the tree and admire this intelligence of life. Admire the beauty, admire the wind that, you know, goes through your hair, the smell that comes with the wind from the meadows. Yeah.
Tadeja,
Yes.
I wanted to share also some thoughts to this subject and to the discussion you just had. It just came to me how the whole process of raising a child and educating it at the currently, or the civilization had like 2000 years of a process of Asiya only education and raising methods. The child is born, I sense it or feel it like that. The child is born to have already that interconnectedness of all the worlds. And then through the process of raising and educating a child, the society and the parents as a part of the society, they just are cutting off the child from that innate ability. So it came to me that maybe also from kindergarten, kids should learn to keep that, to be aware of, with simple methods like how they are learning the colors or the numbers, etc. Maybe they can also learn or start adopting again what they already have in them, and it is related to the other worlds. It's just a thought. I don't need an answer or whatever, but I would appreciate your comments on that. Yes. Because the rest of the life, sorry, I forgot to say that, the rest of the life, once we learned everything, all those skills, then the rest of the lives we spend, or at least a certain number of us, we spend unlearning it again and going back to that original state. And that's a painful process. The learning is the painful process, and the unlearning is even more painful. So that's what I wanted to share.
Thank you, Branka. Very beautiful. And I want to comment on a couple of things. First of all, why this is so. First, the pain of learning something and then pain of unlearning something happens as it happens. I mean, that could be a very deep philosophical debate. Mm-hmm. We just don't want to go into that right now, but it's true. Both parts can be painful and to the certain point are. The second is, I just want to say that just because what you've opened here, I feel so important that this work exists. Mm-hmm. And I feel so blessed that I'm part of it. And I'm so utterly grateful to Jason to put it into the words that are understandable to common people. Mm-hmm. Because it is the healing, not just of the self. From this perspective, this is the healing of the world. You know? Beth, you want to add something?
No, because that was just utterly perfect. And yeah, it's beautiful to see this kind of insight, showing itself. So yeah. That's all I'll add.
Yeah. I just want to say a couple of more things about this world. And for those who are interested in joining our class, we will have a lot more time and much deeper discussion about all four worlds during the training. I'll go a little back to the, how Asiya only looks like. Is just to give you some identifiers so that you can recognize that this happens also in your life. In Asiya only, everything that is not like me is the enemy. Everything that doesn't think like me is against me. And I'm pretty sure that sometime in your personal history, you have been at this place at least once. One of the expressions is like, God doesn't like me. Nobody likes me. When we feel like we are not understood, we are not seen. This comes from here. Yeah. Physical body is very important in the world of Asiya. And our soul is mostly hidden. It's because the way this world works. Remember, I said what you see is what you get. You can't see your soul. The understanding of the soul comes with other worlds where space opens a bit. And we will talk about other worlds in February webinar. The cause and effect are the only agents that we have access to in this world. And we tend to see everything through this perspective. Because of this, I get that. Because this happened to me, I ended up here. And we don't question this. The questioning comes later with other worlds. The perception of time is only linear. There's the past, here's the present, and there's the future. And they're very separated. They don't mingle. They don't get into each other's territory. And what you mentioned, Yolanta, the freedom, the understanding of freedom in Asiya is freedom from something. I have to get rid of something to feel free. Where the real freedom that Beth talked about comes when we enter the non-dual space, the open space where everything is allowed to exist in their original form. And there's also the perspective of healing in Asiya. And healing in Asiya consists mainly of allopathic medicine and healing, which means medications, surgery, medical procedures, testing, which is a very valuable part of our life. If I cut my hand, if I cut my arterial vein, I'm very happy that there are surgeons that can function on this level and know very well how to repair this so that I don't bleed out. Yeah. And the truth is that God is the most present in this world. Every physical object, whether this be a living nature or stones and cups and whatever you call unliving nature, for me, everything's living nature, is the form of God. although we will see later that the idea of God is very distant. So this is all I would like to say about Asiya for today. And as I mentioned, if you decide to join our class, we will talk about it a lot more. I still would like to, answer a couple of questions or hear some thoughts or sharings. They're all welcome. How do you feel with all this information? It's been a lot and yeah, maybe tricky.
I wonder, when you explained this of Asiya, I getting the image of current reality. I feel there's like a lot of Asiya playing out, or this is how I feel, I don't know, but it constantly, and today I had some situation when I was really triggered by it, because I felt what we described about Asiya. So I'm wondering like how to come to peace with it, because my peace is avoiding it, so not going out where I can confront this.
Yeah.
So how we come to peace with this world?
Yes. Yeah. Thank you for this, Yana. The thing is that the current reality is very much Asiya only, to be very precise. This is not really the Asiya. Asiya is much bigger than Asiya only, but because the world somehow got caught in Asiya only, we feel the pain of it. We feel the restriction of it. We feel the helplessness of it, because it kind of pushes us to take sides. And I don't want to take sides. And then what do I do if I don't want to take sides in the world that wants me to take sides? And again, I'll say, when we start understanding that this is not all of life, that there are other perspectives of life, and that there is this non-dual consciousness that really allows everything to exist, whether I can relate positively or negatively to what is there, something happens. What happens, we had the discussion yesterday, Beth and me, with a group of people about non-duality. And it was, one participant talked about very much the same, how there is such deep separation present in today's life, in this situation of COVID, and she actually mentioned anti-vaccines and pro-vaccines and, all the fuzz around it. And when we ended up was in this place where you understand they exist and you can hold them both, and actually feels very powerless and helpless that you cannot do anything about it. But what non-dual work does to you is you can hold this place with compassion. You can feel compassionate to yourselves, to your own helplessness and powerlessness. And that helps you from this urge to take sides, or urge to just, push away because you don't want to be the part of it. It allows you to stay, even though it's painful and unpleasant and you don't want it. You would like to be different. You would want to delete it. You stay. And that's healing. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. And it's not easy. I talked to Arlene, Jason's wife, the other day about some stuff with the school and private and so on. And we both came to the point where we realized that there's so many things that are so simple in life and so uneasy to be with. You know, it takes a lot of effort to be with that simplicity.
And maybe if you stay, you can still say how you feel about it or not.
Yes. Yes.
This is the least thing you can do. It's like,
Yes.
it's not necessary that you take a side, but you can say how it makes you feel, to observe all of this.
Yes. Perfectly said, Jolanta. And this is what we call freedom, to be your true self.
But this is not an easy thing to do, though.
No. Like I said, it's not an easy thing to do.
So painful.
And it can be painful and joyful at the same time.
Yeah.
And this is what non-dual perspectives allows us. It allows us to hold opposites together instead of, you know, taking sides. Anyone else, or should we continue? We've prepared some exercise for you. Okay. Are we ready? Yeah, give a thumbs up if you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. So we will first do the demo with Beth, so that you see how the exercise works, because of the tool that we have in, you know, that we use, the Zoom. If we were present in one room, this exercise would, you know, be orchestrated in a different manner. But after we do the demo, we will have to send you into the breakout rooms 2 and 2. And I will just send them to breakout rooms randomly, so you will not really know who is your partner. And after you are in breakout rooms, we will not be able to give you the instructions. That's why we decided to do the demo first, and then I will copy the instructions into the chat. So if you have your chat open, you will see the instructions during the exercise, and you can refer to it if you get lost. And you will have about 5 minutes each, and then you will swap. So you will do the exercise twice. Each of you will have one role, and then you will swap. And after 5 minutes, I will send a signal to breakout rooms to end one exercise and then to swap to another, and then we will come back all together and we will have sharing. Is that clear? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So with Beth, we will do now the demo, and then I'll read the instructions. No, I will first read the instructions, then we will do the demo, and then I will copy the instructions for you to the chat room. So this exercise is called Maintaining the World. In this exercise, you will be remembering for someone else. One of you will be a speaker and one of you will be a listener. You will do this exercise twice, switching from speaker to listener. And here are the instructions. The speaker speaks and shares something personal. The listener listens and does not comment, not even with facial expression. That doesn't mean that you froze your face. Please don't do that, or gaze, or it's just try to be as neutral as possible. You know, for example, if somebody says, well, I was so angry with my husband that I wanted to kill him, you don't go, oh, you don't go like that. Okay. You just notice what is there. In the next, so speaker will have about 3 minutes to share something personal that you struggle with. And it doesn't matter whether this is something from past or something that is really present now. It's just a difficulty or discomfort, even painful. And listener, listen to me very carefully, because I shall say this only once. No, I'm joking. You will write down primary facts of what is that you hear. In a sentence or two, you will write down the main details and not all the details. And for me, doing this exercise many times, it's very helpful that I try to write down as it is spoken, so that I don't add my interpretation. And when you have finished, you will say to the speaker, I will remember this for you. In example, your partner talked about their mother. They talked about how their mother was hurting them in their childhood. And this is what it really speaks to you. So you will say, I will remember this for you. I will remember the time you were hurt by your mother. Is that clear?
Yes.
Yeah? You have any questions? Okay. So, Beth, are we ready?
Yes.
I have a paper here. Yeah. Prepare pens and papers, because you will need them for this exercise. Okay, Beth, go. Oh, we said I will be the speaker.
Yes.
So, okay, I don't need a paper. Okay, so what I want to share with you. Yeah, what is really, present for me right now in my life is that I found myself in this, crossroads where I have so many directions I want to go to, that I'm meeting my, old wounded place of wanting to go everywhere. And it makes me very tired. It brings up anxiety of that I remember, it's some memory from my childhood, how I wanted to be good. I wanted to know everything. I wanted to please everyone. And it was very painful when I couldn't. And then somebody would say to me that I was bad, or, I wasn't a good girl, that I hurt someone, where this was never my intention. It's not that I'm meeting this place in the same form as I remember from my childhood. It's just that there's so many things in my life right now that I want to do. And it's difficult to make decisions and priorities, because I have to, I don't know, maybe disappoint someone. And it's painful for me if I am at this place. Yeah. I guess that's it, what I want to share.
Okay. So today, I will remember for you that you feel anxious and unable to make decisions for being afraid of disappointing people. I will remember this.
Thank you, Beth. So that was the demo. We made it a bit shorter so that you have more time. So now, do you have any questions? And Beth will answer them, and I will prepare breakout rooms in the meantime.
Should I get a camera for this?
No, you don't really need the camera for this.
Okay.
Yeah, because we are not doing like, there are other exercises that we have in our, pool of exercises where you would have to look to each other. But yeah.
So should me and Lily be together, given that she's in the other room?
Oh.
Well, we'll see. If you end up in the same breakout room, you can do it in the, physical.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions, Matt?
Is it like we try to find the central aspect of it, or can we just take something that sticks to our head more, or I don't know?
I think either is fine.
Mm.
I think you don't want to, how to say this? You don't want to spend so much time trying to find like the kernel, or that you don't hear the person and you can't be present for them.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, I think this is going to work. I'm not sure. If it doesn't work, I'll call you back from breakout rooms, because I just remembered if I create 4 breakout rooms, does that mean that Beth and me, because we are host and co-host, they stay outside? I think so, huh?
I hope so. Or if not, that
so
could be
if
fun.
not, we'll, yeah. Okay. Okay, I have to take you out. How do I take you out? Because okay, you know what, Beth? You were assigned to the first breakout room, just come out once you're there. Okay, so I will open the rooms. No, I will first copy the instructions. Sorry, I got a little confused. It touched me more than I thought when I was sharing my stuff. Okay, you have the instructions in the chat. And now I'm sending you to breakout rooms, and we come back together in 10 to 12 minutes. I will call you back. Or you, Beth, just don't join.
Yeah, I just don't join.
Yeah.
Unmute yourself, Tadeja.
Is everybody back? No, 1, 2, 3.
2 more to come.
No, not everybody is back. Let me see. Okay, I will close all the rooms and they'll come back. In another 60 minutes, 48, 49. So let's just wait for them. We will go a little over time, but I hope you don't mind. And yeah. Okay.
Okay.
They're coming back.
1 more to go,
And Gordana,
I think.
we are waiting for one more.
One more.
Yeah. Okay, a couple of more seconds and she'll be pushed back. Yeah, I like to have this power.
Power.
Okay, are we all back now? Yes, we are. So how was this? Anybody wants to share?
A little unnerving for two reasons. One is opening up to somebody you've never met before, talking about things which are uncomfortable, and not actually knowing where I was going anyway.
Yeah.
So I didn't know where I was going. I just started to talk to see where it took me.
Okay. And how was the feeling when you've heard that somebody will remember your difficulty or discomfort for you?
Yeah, it felt very lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really, really nice feeling. Really nice feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely correct. It's always difficult to share, especially, this is one of the reasons why Beth and I really, go for doing this class in person, not online. Because there's a lot of, people is saying to us, well, maybe you should plan it online because of all the situation of COVID and all that. But we kind of both are, willing even to wait for half a year in order to have it in person, not online, because it's so important that people meet each other, that, before we go into exercises of this kind. Okay, anybody else wants to say something?
No.
About the exercise, about something else? We are also here to answer any questions about the training that you might have. Whether you are thinking about it or you need more information or you have questions about the training itself, about the logistics.
Well, I found this exercise from both sides very touchy and tender.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Intimate and comforting. I didn't find, as Charles, difficult. No? And I didn't feel that from another side as well. It was, it was intimate. It was very, very close. Yeah. Lovely, warm, thankful.
Yeah. Good. Good.
Yes, well, actually, I was amazed again that in such a short period of time, like 3 or 4 minutes, both of us were able to open up and to come to a point, to a quite deep point of honesty and touching really the topic we wanted to talk about, and passing on the information, because I could feel and sense what Jolanta is feeling and sense it, and by seeing what she picked from my story, I also realized that she felt what I was feeling and experienced what I was feeling. And now, after a while, when I was rethinking and trying to see what I'm going to share, actually, for me, the most amazing thing is that we go for therapy sessions, and 1 hour is not enough sometimes to come to such a point as we did now with the person I don't know at all, and I haven't chosen to talk to or to be my therapist. So it was, you have already prepared the space, the safe space. And I think we both opened up, or at least I can speak in my name.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's beautiful. And one more thought of, because, you know, one point of view to this exercise that we did is, it is possible we have this level of consciousness that is called asiya, integrated. That's why we can sit opposite to each other, share things that are different or similar, and have compassion towards it. And not going into analyzing or trying to save someone, or, you know. Anybody else? By the way, I didn't assign you to breakout rooms. It was completely random.
The computer did.
The computer did it. You know, if you were wondering about that, it was completely random.
Or was it?
Yeah.
Well,
Maybe.
if you join the training, you will see that in this school, a Society of Souls, we have a very, very strong relationship with everything, including however you name them, higher power, spiritual masters, incarnate, not incarnate, wisdom. It's present all the time. It's actually, if I remember what Jason repeats so many times, it's not, this work is not the doing of one person. It's the doing of the world as it is. Anybody else wants to say something? Some praise for me and Beth?
You know,
both did a wonderful job.
Yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you.
But I thank you both already for creating this safe space.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I don't know if I said this in the beginning, but you probably can tell. I mean, I'm from the United States. If this was a group of American people, like you would never have to ask, oh, do you want to sit? Like, we're very loud and talkative people. It's very interesting to be with Europeans. So
We get that way when we're drunk.
oh.
I thought that was only the Brits, Andrew.
No, it's quite universal, I feel.
Okay, I'm relieved.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tadeja, and thank you, Beth,
Thank you, Charles.
and also thank you to Jana.
Yeah, thank you. It was really interesting. I'm starting to begin to understand a little bit, like when you talked about the first world now. So I'm curious about the other worlds.
Yeah.
And yeah, but if you still have a little bit of time, you could tell us a little bit of the how this seminar is planned, maybe, and also costs are something that interests me. Where is it happening? Whatever.
Yes, sure. You want to go back? Should I go?
Well, I'll give the basics. It's obviously it's a 4-year training, and it's wonderful. It's intense. It's intimate. It's all of those things. But practically, the first year is 4 weekends, so it'd be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The second and third years are also 3 weekends, except a little longer. It's 4 days.
Yeah.
So it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we are going to have the classes in Slovenia, a place I've never been, but Tadeja assures me it is beautiful on the water. And it's much preferable, I think, to have it in person. I mean, COVID willing, but because you really do get such a closeness in the class and such a level of sharing and intimacy that it's really a beautiful thing. And as far as the finances go, before even talking about that, I just want to say that there are scholarships available. And we would never want anybody to not take this class because, they feel it's too much, that they can't work it out. So we are very open to working with the financial situation. So Tadeja?
Yeah, you didn't say about the 4th year. The 4th year is again.
Oh my goodness!
First year, 4 weekends, 3 days.
Sorry.
Saturday, Sunday. We are trying to put them in like every 3 months, so that there is enough time for people to integrate, to relax, because it's really intense. It's like, I remember when I was a student, sometimes I had a feeling that in those 3 days, a couple of my lives happen.
Mm-hmm.
I would just want to say, with that, we don't really yet talk about the specific finances, because we are still working this through. We have to set the price in euros. It's still in dollars, and we are figuring this out with Jason, how to do it, which exchange rate to change, so that we are both satisfied. But we can share this privately with people who are interested in. So Jolanta, if you write to me, we can get on the phone and talk about it. Okay, it's not. It's doable. It's doable. It's not that it's so expensive that it's not. It's doable, and like Beth said, we have scholarships ready for people that have financial difficulties. Because but we want to be sure that a candidate is really interested and ready for this work, because it's not like many other works. Like Beth said earlier today, there is no homework, there is no exams to pass. So it's also, from point of view of students, sometimes difficult to measure whether you have made it or not. And your feeling of you've chosen the right course for you is very much integrated with whether you are ready for this level of work, because it will change you deeply. And from my practice, with working with individuals and teaching, I have met people that are not ready for this level of work, and I have turned them down.
Mhm.
And with people that are ready, I have also for individual work, 1 day per week I do pro bono for people that I know are ready for this work and cannot pay private therapies and healing sessions.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And the place in Slovenia is Strunjan. For those who know.
That's nice.
Yes, for those who know where this is, and for those who don't, you can look up on the map. We will soon have some more information about Strunjan and the venue posted on our website. And the basics of the training are already on our website. And you can always, there are also links to A Society of Souls website where the program is detailed, explained in details.
I just remembered something, because I know that for Jason also music is very important, right?
Yes.
Is it like also part of the classes or the training?
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. If we were not online, if we were in person, we would add his music as well. But you know, singing online on Zoom, there's such terrible cacophony. Like even cacophony happens. That is no way.
Definitely detracts from the experience.
Yes, but it's actually I think the whole first year, Beth, every lecture starts with singing.
Oh yeah.
Jason's Naguns.
That's nice.
Yes,
It is. It is.
It's
Hopefully somebody has a really good voice.
I do.
Okay.
We've never sang together, so
No.
Or maybe some of our assistants will have good voice too. Yeah, because we will work with assistants. This is also one information. We cannot do this work alone. We will have, depends on how big the group is. I don't know, 1, 2, 3 assistants. Yeah.
Okay. Well, this has been lovely. Thank you all for coming. And I hope, I hope we see you next month. And
February 12th.
Yeah. So goodbye.
And yeah, in the meantime, if you have any questions, write to us.
Yeah.
Go to our website, nkheurope.com, or directly info@nkheurope.com. And fill up your inquiry form as soon as possible.
Good.
Thank you very much, Beth. Thank you, Tadeja. It was really nice. I enjoyed it fully.
Thank you.
Glad.
Yes, thank you. It was very, very lovely.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Bye.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao.